you can give us advice. We gave due protocol allowance for the governor of Nairobi in case he comes, so he sent his representative. We'd like the representative, if he's here, just to, or she is here, to come and tell us here in the front so that we can continue with that. And the rest, I think, we're supposed to talk are close by. Thank you.
On behalf of our departed friend, colleague, mentor, teacher, I stand here to read just one or two sentences about George as a friend. As friends, we shared many common beliefs and values. Toil and not ask for any rest. Labor and not ask for any reward. For at the end of the day, the Lord shall tell you, well done. Both of us cherished hard work and loyalty to authority. As a mentor, he enabled growth of knowledge and ideas. He enabled knowing what was not and what was wanted. He was credible, a positive role model, genuinely interested in his mentees as an individual, and shared experiences and insight. He had a commanding stature. He exuded power and authority. His presence would be felt, and his friends too would know what is expected at any occasion. He made friends feel that there is something worthwhile in them. Think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best. As a colleague, he expected no mediocrity. His assigned responsibilities to be done were to be done the way he would have wanted to do it himself. Just as an example, he assigned me the responsibility of being the director of the University of Nairobi Institute of Tropical and Infectious Diseases, and he gave me the following commands: grow income, get international students, train researchers, capacity build to make Unity a level 4 institution. In biosafety and biosecurity. Yes, one of the important things which I must mention, we trained researchers from arid and semi-arid lands and chose those who are providing care services in health facilities from that region. The objectives were to improve implementable aspects of research and to demystify research as an elitist domain. At the end of 1 year, we had managed to train 180 persons. In capacity building, which became very useful during the Ebola crisis, we trained 244 laboratory staff, including mortuary staff, to be able to manage hemorrhagic fevers such as Ebola. We trained workers in rapid response in cases of emergence of fever and biosecurity. To us, success was what we use, what we chose, what we are, what was true, and what to do. And more importantly, what to give. A friend indeed he was. And I must say I was among those who accompanied him to his in-laws to be. Rest in peace, Omore. Till we meet again.
Thank you. Yesterday at the residence of Professor Magoha, it was hosted by members of his profession, and the master of ceremony was Dr. Aloch, and he made all kinds of jokes, and it was at the expense of politicians like myself. How we have not gone to school, we cannot read speeches, and those sort of things. So I want to give him a chance now to prove his prowess in an area where he was, criticizing us. And I also have requested him that there must be several doctors who are here that we have not acknowledged. And he has reminded me that you've only acknowledged politicians. Where are the doctors? And since there's a Swahili saying which says that when you're still giving birth, you don't disrespect the midwives. So I don't know when I'll next be at his clinic, or when I'm on a table when he's a surgeon. So most respectfully, sir, I ask you to acknowledge the doctors and tell them that it is not out of slighting them that I had not mentioned them. Thank you.
God is good, and all the time, the clergy, the family of Magoha, all protocol observed. But I'm going to break the protocol a little. I'm going to request you to have a 10-second medical or biological break, and also in honor of Magoha to stand up for 10 seconds and stretch yourself. Thank you very much. Now I'm sure now you're awake to listen to me speaking. You may sit down. It's important that you listen to me. Okay, thank you. I'm here to present a very important constituency. I represent the doctor. It's important to note that Barbara and Mike are also doctors. And I represent very important doctors. I can't mention them because there are very many. And more important, probably this morning, I'm the most important speaker because I'm especially anointed. I'm representing the doctors, but I also come from game, and which is a very important, the only location you can find in English dictionary. The only interest, the only important verse that has never been included in the Bible is do as I say, not as I do. So yesterday I told people not to read their speeches. That was me saying. Now I'm doing opposite. I'm going to read a speech. To the family of the Magoha, on behalf of the medical fraternity, I bring you our sincere condolences on the loss of our dear colleague. We know the medical profession is used to witnessing death, but that does not take away the pains of death when it takes one of our own profession. Death, taking a precious life like that of Magoha, is very painful, and extraordinary doctor he was. It is said that to lose people we love is very painful. And though we say that we cannot lose love because death cannot touch love, the sorrow we feel when we lose a loved one is the price we pay for having them in our lives. Magoha was a man of good heart, cared about friends and family. He contributed to the development of every single person he met on his path. He mentored many and sowed the seed of greatness in many things. He was an inspiration to many people. Although nice things are said at funeral like today, It is sad that most of us will not be able to hear the same thing said to us. He was always an inspiration to all. He said what he meant and meant what he said. He lived beyond humans, and his thoughts were always revolutionary. While we mourn a colleague, we pay tribute and celebrate a life well lived, a life committed to building excellence and standards in every way. Not many doctors leave such a legacy of such dedication to excellence. He will be missed, but never will be forgotten by those who are fortunate enough to have known him. He made many people great. Some people are born great, others made great, others have got greatness thrust upon them. But he was a great man and made people great. Thank you for leading a great and fulfilled life. The rivers of sorrow. Life is like rivers. Eventually they go where they must. Drinking from the rivers of sorrow sustains a different kind of life. The river is hidden from the rest of the world. Tears drip from my chin and fall into an endless flow of liquid love. The river sparkles with beauty for life and death. Even as the rivers and the sea are always one and meet eventually. Death is not the end of the journey, but the beginning of another journey, a journey that we shall all take and we shall all meet the end. Rest in peace, our departed friend, Omore.
Thank you, Daktari. He speaks so well, he should have been in politics, but I think you're more useful in your calling. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of former Minister for Education, our senior Professor Ongeri, and I also like to acknowledge, if I didn't by any chance, senior Fred Gumo, former Member of Parliament for this area. It's now my privilege to invite my former colleague, CS Farida Karone, to give a tribute on behalf of all the former colleagues of Professor Magoha. Thank you.